So when I started photography, people kept throwing numbers at me. Shoot at f1.8, you're going to get really blurry backgrounds. No, shoot at f2.8, you're going to get really sharp images. And I was like, what in the actual camera math is going on? So here is Aperture explained like you're 5 years old. Imagine your camera lens as your eye. Your eye has a pupil that opens and closes. When it's bright outside, your pupil gets really small. And when it is very dark or when you're in a dark place, your pupil gets really big. When your pupil gets big, it means that it's allowing a lot of light to come into your eye. And when it gets really small when you're outside, it means that it's reducing the amount of light that's entering your eye. That is what Aperture does in a camera. It controls the amount of light or how much light is coming through your lens. Aperture in a lens is represented by f numbers. So the smaller the number, the wider the opening, and the bigger the number, the smaller the opening. I know this is going to sound a bit gibberish, so I'm just going to grab a lens and show you what I mean. I have with me here a very tiny lens which is going to show what I mean. You can see it right here. There's some numbers over there, and with this lens it begins with f1.2, goes all the way up to f16. At f1.2 you can see that the aperture is really opened and you can see my face inverted in the image. If I begin to close the aperture down, you can see that the rings are closing up. That is all the way up to 60, so you can just see a wee bit of opening at the end. If I move my hands up and down, you can see the light coming through, and that exactly is how your aperture works when it opens and closes. I'm very sure one will ask, why all these numbers? These numbers simply represent stops on the lens. A stop simply refers to doubling or halving the amount of light that hits your camera sensor. So for example, if you move from f2.8 to f4, you are halving the amount of light that is going to hit your camera sensor. And if you move from f4 to f2.8, it's as twice as much light before that is going to hit your camera sensor. Now here's the fun part. Aperture also affects your background blur and the depth of field. To make an illustration of this, let's do this simple exercise. Raise up your finger, your index finger, and try to focus on your index finger. When you do this, you realize that when your focus is on your hand, everything else in the background goes blurry. Now, move your focus away from your hand to your background. And once again, when you look at your background, you see that the index finger that is right on your face or in front of your face goes blurry, and that is your depth of field. So you're probably going to ask, when should I change my aperture when shooting? The first thing you need to know is your lens. You need to know your lens. For instance, a lens at f1.8 may be really sharp, and another lens of the same focal length with a different company may not be sharp, or depending on the usage of the lens. So you need to know your lens. If your lens is sharp at f1.8 and you want to shoot at f1.8 and have that blurry looking background, you can shoot at f1.8. But if you know that you want a sharp image and your lens is not sharp at f1.8 and you need to increase the stop to get sharper images, then just do that. Just know your lenses. Pushing that aside, when it comes to landscape photography, they tend to use higher number apertures. So you can shoot at f8, you can shoot at f11, because they want a lot of the landscape or the subject area they're trying to cover to be sharp and be in focus. All you need to remember is that lower f number will give you more light, more blur, and higher f number will give you less light, less blur, and more sharpness. So to recap, aperture is your camera's pupil. It lets you control how much light you let in and how blurry your background looks. If this video helped, smash that like button or share with someone who needs to know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.